Yes, because you only met Roberto on the internet. Yes. Well, I hope it's enjoyable. That's the.
I will be at the next one, Fuji, in 3 weeks.
And there are other days.
Partito tardi.
Oh, it's a very good camera.
You can simulate again to meet for the first time.
It is better than the cameras. It is better than the cameras owned by the television companies in the north of Italy, because they looked at Roberto with amazement when an interview was happening with me and said, "How do you have one of those cameras? We would like one, but the television company will not buy one of those for us."
Roberto.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm actually smoked out. Gives me
You should take somebody with you. To watch? Oh, you're in conflict? I don't know, you have to ask Big Ian now. Because I am commandant you get wine. Okay, there's some wine.
We used to be able to get past ourselves on every launch that we've done. But somebody. How dare they put
Maybe it makes more money in eBay or maybe it comes
Hello.
I tried to get closer, but I thought there's no point. It's too packed.
That's a general. End up with some girls.
Yeah, no, speak to my agent. Look, listen.
Cover which you probably can't see at the back, but you will see is very interesting when you come to the front. This is actually, the artwork here is by Ian's late wife Judy Watson, and there are some examples of her work in here relating to the book. This one has an extra 5 pages as well as the essay. Oh, and it's signed by some bloke called Ian Watson. Now there are only 100 of these, and we're already pre-selling, so there's only 100. But I'll say they're available up here. Now the next book, and I saw him just wandering at the back of the room over there, and now nattering to Farah, is a book which has an intro by Mr. Adam Roberts. Hello, Adam. And which has it's a brilliant long novella or short story or short novel. It falls into sort of that bracket, written by Mr. Keith Brooke here. Now Keith has told me that he feels this is quite possibly the best thing he's ever written, and I have to say I honestly agree with him. It's a fabulous, weird Walter Mitty type of story. Keith, do you want to talk about it? Do you want me to carry on?
I'm quite happy for you to carry on saying lovely things about it.
You lazy so-and-so.
You do it far better than I do.
All right. And basically this is a lad growing up in a seaside town who doesn't have the best of lives and escapes... actually, I'll read you the back cover blurb because I thought it was all right, didn't you?
Read a bit by Adam as well.
Yeah, yes, Adam said, Keith Brooks' The Unlikely World of Faraway Frankie is a masterclass in how to transcend labels. It is wiser about youth and imagination than most other novels published today, and everybody of whatever age should read it. And it really is an incredibly intense, emotional book about a lad who wakes up one day in the world he's always imagined, and then suddenly discovers that it's not quite the perfection he thought, as everything starts to unravel and go wrong. It's a wonderful, wonderful story, which I'm very, very proud to publish. So that's The Faraway, The Unlikely World of Faraway Frankie. I can, again, highly recommend it. This is available in 2 editions, a signed hardback, which is signed by both Adam and Keith, and a paperback limited edition, which is signed only by Keith. Now, before my voice runs out, because forgive me, I was doing all this at World HorrorCon a week ago, and I'm going, now, but anyway, before that happens, I will tell you about the final book we're launching today, which is this. This is Conflicts, and it's a bit of a groundbreaker for Newcom Press. It's the first anthology I've ever produced, which is purely science fiction. There's no fantasy, there's no horror, it's science fiction. I did this, I think, in part because I launched a vampire book last week at World Horror, and I wanted to do something with SF. So the result is there's a mix of authors in here going for the very, very strong militarist SF from the likes of Neil Asher and Andy Remick.
It's not, it's over the top, Andy Remick. It's wonderful, it's the biggest extravaganza of ultra-violence that you have read in your lives. To call it militaristic gives totally the wrong impression.
I apologise, sir.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. But there's some traditional SF adventure from Eric Brown. There's some brilliant skipping around the universe pursued by strange aliens, with an even stranger alien in their midst from Mike Cobley. There's all sorts of things in here. Fantastic lineup of authors. I'm very, very pleased. Martin Sketchley, Martin McGrath, who's here. Una McCormack gives a really sensitive story. I know David Clements. Dave here, he produces a wonderful story about humanity fleeing on a spaceship, the last hope of humanity, escaping a terrible, dreadful situation, who might just be carrying the seeds of their own destruction on their own ship. Chris Beckett, who's also around somewhere. Chris? Yeah. Chris, he basically tells the story of the Middle East conflict, but transports it to Britain. So you have the English being thrown out by the Celts, who return to their homeland, and surviving in small enclaves, and it's a very, very interesting turnaround of current situations.
All nationalists need a copy.
Yes, all nationalists need a copy. Jim Mortimer, I don't know if Jim's here, I know he's due to be coming up, but I don't know if he's arrived yet. Jim gives a wonderful story about 2 super soldiers who end up having a small row which ends up demolishing an entire planet. And it's Roseanne Rabinovitz. Where's Roseanne? Roseanne gives a great, great poignant story about love and about loss, beautifully realised. I'm really proud to produce a purely science fiction collection. Now, and also Mr. Andy Bigwood, who did the cover art, which I think is one of his best ever works over there. And Andy gave us a wonderful, wonderful piece of cover art, so thank you, Andy. And you've got some prints, I think, as well, haven't you, of that? And I've just not spotted, I did mention Gareth Powell, who gives another version of A Future Bristol, which is something he's quite well known for. And this time where Bristol has been turned into a radioactive alien infected no-go zone. So, sorry? Exactly, yeah. Who noticed, yeah. Now, for some reason, this book appears to have been quite popular. I was very, very flattered and surprised when last week I launched a vampire anthology, which had sold more copies pre-sales than anything else I'd ever done. And then there's this one. This is available as 150 signed limited edition in hardback, of which 114 have pre-sold prior to launch, and 165 copies of the paperback have also gone.
Panic! Panic buy!
All these books are up here. Now, the bad news is, if anyone...
says I have to give you a hug.
Do you take the FBI to
For which reason?
Oh, just because you're you.
This is the best reason. I highly endorse it.
I'm sorry, that one's done.
Yes, well, I've known Dave for 54 years now. When we met, I was 4 and he was 3.
When we first met, it was at a kind of dame school in South Wales, whose proprietress used to threaten people with a dread substance called waking up medicine. It was a huge red bottle that lived in the cupboard. Everyone was terrified of it. I thought this had been mercifully forgotten until many years later. I was guest of honour at a convention in Minneapolis, and I discovered, waiting for me on the table beside my bed, a huge bottle labelled waking up medicine. Martin had been briefing them. It turned out to be sherry, I'm glad to say.
Yes. We used to have some good cherry parties at Brasenose. When we were at university, there was a lot of drinking.
It was an institution, the physicists' cherry party. Each time the 2 years we physicists welcomed the new ones with a party in which there was 1 bottle of sherry per person.
And a few spare.
This was unwise.
Yes, and it was attended as well by Professor Nicholas Curtin, who was one of the founders of the molecular gastronomy movement, and used to do TV cooking programs with Raymond Blanc from the Manuel Catracesa.
I have a copy of his book that he got out of it all, which is called But the Crackling is Superb, which is what somebody said after he tasted one of his roasts.
Yes, this was crackling that he's actually done in liquid nitrogen, because it makes crisper pork crackling than doing it in the oven.
Well, I think that was the one where he'd injected enzymes into the pork in order to make it deliciously tender, and a sort of pork soup fell out in the middle of the crackling.
That was the pineapple juice, yes. Well, he did have some mistakes, but he did invent the inside-out baked Alaska, where you actually have the ice cream and inside there's meringue and inside that double jam.
This is why veterans of Nicholas Curtin's cooking always test their desserts with long probes and pyrometers just in case.
I've actually cooked that one.
One of them, if you like, is a ruffle.
great.
Hi Eric.
Have you done yet? You've been doing sessions with Ian, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gather you've got a story which I'm supposed to vote for, is that right? I haven't read it. Shall I vote for you anyway? Okay, Roberta.
That's what I've been doing.
Suck my headache out of my head.
Yeah.
Don't do that,
It's not going to work for Jesse.
So Solaris funding this one?
I don't think so necessarily. I don't know. Possibly.
And they then got a blind test.
Yes.
And the bottom line is red wine doesn't produce hangover.
It does not.
It does.
Oh, it does produce.
It's the flavonoids in it.
They are. Yeah. I suspected as much, but that's why I'm instinctively drinking.
But this has now been verified by science.
Oh, yeah. I like things to be verified by
I
science.
urban
Because then
myths
I
to be
know they are
rigorously
true.
tested.
You know? Yeah. One great thing.
None of them must be from Solaris, I take it.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think I'll buy a copy.
I'm going to go and get
now. Because, no, you can borrow mine if you like. The beauty of
Shoes.
I know, like Lee Harris is all like Mr. Technology.
Can you give me a review of each of them in 140 characters or less?
This one was
No. No. Go away.
Ian and Alistair. Let me get this other one here for my friend.
I am the fish of the squad.
These guys are on now. Yeah, they have one for fantasy. They have one for yeah.
Everything that he really, I know that when he does that, it's because he really likes it and that it means to him. And he takes the time to call me long distance to tell me how much he likes X or Y piece. It's very fun. Yeah.
Welcome to the Shine House parties.
Yeah.
There is cheese in the front of the room, white wine, red wine, whiskey, chocolate here, and a limited availability of Shine people, Shine the Anthology. That is all killers, no fillers. That is all it is. The most anticipated anthology of 2010. It's already called historic by the Barnes & Noble review people. Get your copies while they're hot. Unfortunately, a snowstorm in Glasgow. Maybe they bought copies to go here. That's it what we have here, people. I have Alice Lyman's and we are available if you want to have it signed. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Very astute. Get in very quickly. We're a bit devastated really because the snowstorm in Scotland stopped the launch contest. Jesse, Joe, and I'm not sure. I think there's a bird over here somewhere. I reckon that's a bird.
Yeah, I just recently met her for the first time. Wonderful lady. Oh yeah. She's feeling a lot better. She had a car accident a few years ago, and that's why she hasn't been writing. She had a severe concussion from it, and it's slowly now she's where she's writing again.
Would you like a Welsh wine, right? An Australian or an Italian?
Are they all Chardonnay or is that...
I don't know what the Welsh is.
No, this is good.
You got one
Chardonnay, great Thank you, sir. What a fun party. A fun party.
You just put on your... Are you in the BS?
I know, actually, I joined because I was afraid
There's no roads anywhere near.
There's
no roads anywhere near. Oh, well, don't worry.
And you do too as well.
Yes, I will. Just enjoy myself.
Well done.
I will.
Also, you tell all your friends to do the same.
Exactly.
Donated to chastity. I mean charity.
Yes, now you put this picture into my mind and Laura Mendelssohn posting it strategically.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Now, the question is, do we have one female calendar and one male calendar?
Or just one with both?
Yeah, but
so everyone buys it.
Yeah, but you get to choose who to be posed next to.
You can have 3 calendars, probably.
3 calendars. Well, with modern technology, you can have multiple choice calendars.
That's true. You can actually choose which web pages you want online.
Yes. And also the month of the year. Well, now, of course, they would want me to post image which has been seen there, for which purpose, which might suggest a kind of gay relationship, which is not true, I hasten to add at this moment. So I must continue to go. It might be quite interesting because he is bigger than me, so it will be like the sort of ogre.
I will provide also silicone tits if necessary.
Oh, yeah.
Not here because it's banal. Somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere
on my
else.
back.
Yeah, silicone tits on the back.
Because, as you know, evolution has made the women to develop the normal tits in front, so that they can attract the male in front instead of. So Desmond Morris said. So we put them back again, and we confuse the idea to evolution.
Yeah, this is right, and rear entry becomes the norm.
So it becomes. Yes. We confuse the idea to evolution. This is all.
Are we starting another story, by the way, at this moment?
It looks like this looks like the beginning of the story. The rear tits of my beloved. The rear tits of my beloved sounds really.
I think so. The only way you could do it, I was caught with my shoulders down.
It's about ghost fucking.
It's music.
Ghost fucking.
I'm writing enough things down because he can't email.
Peter,
He can't read emails. He can't write emails.
Bist du schon hier?
You're having fun.
Oh, yeah. Zimmer 3009.
There you go. I have to keep the text.
Where did I put my glass? That is my glass.
We're not working. If you add up our assets and take away
I don't want to abandon them. We will have the party number if we all go. So I'm happy to just wait.
Yes.
So you guys are the ones that
we will go and have a cigarette.
We will have a smoke.
And we will come back very quickly. Now this is a paradoxical situation because you and I were sitting here without needing to smoke, and
She brought it up.
she caused this to happen.
Kill me now.
I'm starting to wish to smoke myself.
Yeah. we send them a week away?
Well, it could be, but I don't think like that. I don't think like that.
It's a week, After that, it hinders. How you doing? Should this be an eye shot or a cleavage shot?
You too.
My eyes are a much better asset.
In fact, I think I am going to try and do that. Acts of social bravery now.
I'm going to do.
These are all attempts to promote our works of literature, to raise the enlightenment level of the human population. If we must take off our clothes in order to do this, well, we can promote that.
Okay.
Oh, that will end up being one of these calendars, like what do they call it? The women's. What are they called? It is the Mothers' Union or something. We all stripped to produce a calendar, which was made into a movie. I noticed in my local village that several of the local farmers had all posed and nude up with their bottoms showing up against tractors. Now this will be the next thing which we have not had, which is a nude calendar which is of course of SF luminaries.
Which get less and less. It gets more and more intensive.
Because they're
Last week or so, and then you've got the ice ages that
I know those cool. And the industrial museums are collaborating. They cost me a lot.
And he went.
But she called us and Bill was able to give her instructions for take the training, because I think it was against it. I think they had a rail car to get into London. And then we met at the station and went out to It's a miracle. I had no idea. That's great.
Year-long seasons. So I'm just thinking as I go along.
Let's do one quick last one.
One last one, right.
Then try and produce some sort of coherence. Sometimes opinions will differ, and then I have to go to a committee and get it approved, and then give it back to the government and so forth, and this and that. If you Google my name plus select committee, you'll see that sort of appears in various parliamentary this and that. So I have a very, very general, practical working experience of biology. But not an in-depth question. So if when you ask a question I don't know the answer, forgive me for saying I don't know the answer, because I'd far rather say that and then give you a wild guess rather than bullshit, if that's okay with you guys.
Such as recombinant DNA, and can be used to introduce exogenous genes into the genome of an organism. In other words, a vector spreads diseases. I can't think what this has to do with the BSFA, unless of course the BS in BSFA stands for bovine spongiform.
I don't think so, Ian.
I really hope there's nothing to worry about. Only if you've had brains on toast for breakfast for a couple of years. With a dash of vinegar and pepper. You can't get brains for breakfast in this hotel. Though the scrambled egg looks rather...
Ian, I hate to interrupt you in the midst of chewing the cud, but think about it online.
I've been reading the BSFA website with the greatest admiration. And I can't resist quoting a comment I found there about this wonderful organisation. Quote, "It is hard to believe all that the BSFA has accomplished. There have been many challenges, and the BSFA has been there to respond to them. But the BSFA has done more than respond. It has played a leading and critical, that would be in the magazine Vector, I repeat, a critical role in ensuring that Western Alaskan fishermen are in control of their own future." Yes, indeed, the Bering Sea Fishermen's Association is passionate about the future.
Oh my God. Bovine spongiform encephalitis strikes again. Ian, we've been through this.
And if anyone thinks that the BSFA doesn't pay attention to activities further eastward, that's only because eastern Alaska doesn't have any SF or sea fishing, due to eastern Alaska being called Canada. I'm delighted to say that none other than the celebrated former governor of Alaska, its leading author, Sarah Palin herself, future President of the United States, has sent a message of support to this prize giving, asking you all to join loudly in the rallying cry of the BSFA. After me, please. Herrings! Herrings! Salmons! Salmons! Cods pollocks!
Right, that's just plain rude. Right, that's it. Stop it now, Ian. I don't care how enthusiastic you are about fish, pigs, chickens, scrambled eggs.
I think I'm just hungry.
Or any of that. No, just don't ask these good people to join you in doing anything that might have been requested by Sarah Palin.
Sorry, didn't think.
That's okay. Now, you know why we're here.
Yes, for the British Science Fiction Association Awards 2009, which are also described as 2010,
Yes.
owing to the awards relating to last year, but happening this year, in
Yes.
a kind of time travel loop.
Yes, fantastic. Anyway, and like we mentioned earlier, the first award we're presenting this evening is for Best Non-Fiction. This year's shortlisted nominations include 2 fantastic and intelligent books of criticism, an excellent, deeply thought-out piece on writing the other, and an insightful, well-written, regular magazine column. Talk about variety. Clearly, BSFA members are a widely read lot, and they know their stuff.
We would like to call Mike Carey to the stage to present this award.
Well, why not? I think he stands a good chance.
Really?
Oh yeah, really. Somewhat ironically involving lots of vodka being given to the voters, though.
Oh, I see. Well, at least it's not about me going on about something superfluous to the event now, is it? Let's get back to the awards, shall we?
Okay.
In connection with this award, I consulted the BSFA website, which tells us that only an organisation like the BSFA can keep its members up to date and on the cutting edge of developments in building science in Australia. Bruce, the Building Science Forum of Australia, when asked to comment on the short fiction nominations this evening, said that what they were most concerned with was good structure, integrity, and possible danger to sheep. Most of the nominations manage at least 2 out of 3. Which can also be said of our next presenter, because here to present the award is Alistair Reynolds.
Hi everyone. Nominations for Best Short Fiction 2009. Ian Watson and Robert Quaglia, The Beloved Time of Their Lives. Eugene Foster, Sinner, Baker, Fabulist. I'm going to take a breath now because I'm halfway through the title. Priest, Red Mask, Black Mask, Gentleman, Beast. Ian Waits, The Assistant. Ian MacDonald, Vishnu at the Cat Circus. Possibly my favourite title of any short fiction I've ever read. Brilliant title. Kim Lakin-Smith, Johnny and Emmy Lou Get Married. Bear with me. And the winner, BSFA, Best Short Fiction 2009, Ian Watson and Robert Quaglia.
Ian Watson's going to have to say something now.
I'm grateful to my grandmother.
And now I'm confused. Maybe I am Ian Watson and he's an imposter, and actually he's Roberto Quaglia. I'm quite excited about this. Now I should make as many mistakes in my English speaking as possible, so as
you having to regret what you've done. Yeah, well, actually, I think that in this moment I am probably the winner of the BSS award, which can cook the best spaghetti. I don't know if this is the beginning, but I think I could stop here before you regret really what you've done.
Okay, that was best novel.
When I first checked out the website of the Big Sky Fencing Association, I thought that fencing the big sky referred to dividing up outer space, and the Earth too, of course, past, present and future, as settings for exhibitions of writing skill. One writer would specialize in Saturn, another in UFOs and the Soviet era. Adam Roberts springs to mind. Just for instance, I was slightly wrong.
You don't say.
After reportedly passing through some rough years, the Big Sky Fencing Association has brought high-level Olympic-style fencing to Montana, displaying the most artistic use of the foil, the épée, and the saber. Interviewed recently by the BSFA, a winning contestant was asked, "What is the secret of your success?" And the winner's answer was, "Lots of practice and adapting my style to counter my opponent's style." You glued these pages together. Yes, indeed. The BSFA award is an award for style as well as for substance. And incidentally, tantrums and foul language are not tolerated. The official fencing Olympics is frequently referred to as the Booker Prize. But I say that this BSFA award honors a wider and more universal reach than those Olympic finalists often attain. Will the winner today prove to be an expert in the saber or in the épée? Whoever the winner is, undoubtedly they'll have practiced a lot. And we can be sure theirs is a stylish performance.
Looks like we have reached an inveter bon temps, or very nearly have, for as it is time for the final award of this evening to be presented. And here to present the award is Ian Banks.
Evening all. The nominations for the Best Novel 2009. China Mieville, The City and the City. Stephen Baxter, Arc. Adam Roberts, Yellow Blue Tibia. And Ursula Le Guin, Lavinia. And the winner is... It's quite exciting. China Mieville, The City and the City.
Unfortunately, China is not available to collect the award, but he's asked Julie Crisp to come and collect on his behalf.
Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how grateful and honoured I am. I'm very sorry that I can't be at Eastercon this year. It's been a wonderful year for wonderful shortlists, always at least as important as winners, and it's been an honour to be on this alongside such amazing nominees. I'm hugely grateful to everyone who helped with this book, particularly Judy Crisp, Jeremy Trevathan, Chris Schlup, Jessie Sewdalter, Peter Lavery, Mick Cheetham, Simon Kavanagh and Chloe Healy. I dedicate the book and this prize to my mum Claudia, who very much loved the crime fiction I've tried to be as faithful to here as I am to the SF I grew up with. Thank you so much. Now would someone please text me to let me know that I've just said all this?
Do speak if I have no idea.
You can do whatever you want.
Dance. All right, well, I'll keep it short. That's the Ross's way of doing it. Actually, anyone in this room could be holding what I'm holding now if they had had the privilege of being the 19th person down the phone call list back in 1984 when InterZone decided it wanted to do film reviews and had had the extraordinary good fortune to have this amazing succession of supportive, tolerant, patient, time-oblivious deadline oblivious editors. And I feel extraordinarily blessed to have been able to spend the last 25 years, the 25 years I spent out of fandom, writing about film for the people in this room, who are the people who actually, they're probably the last people on this earth who still read SF. So thank you all. I came here to cheer for Clute or Mendelssohn or James or the rest of them, and I was not expecting to go away with this.
For a finale, shall we sing the BSFA song? You know, BSFA, you'll find it at the BSFA.
Sadly, we've run out of time. But it behoves us both now to close this ceremony to show our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has worked at making these awards possible. First of all, can I hear your rounds of applause for all the winners tonight?
And please show your warm appreciation to our wonderful presenters this evening, Mike Carey, Liz Williams, Alistair Reynolds and Ian Banks.
And I would like to thank the elves who've been helping me this evening with all the awards and everything, everyone, including Neil and Emma. Brilliant, thank you.
And there is a brilliant artist who deserves our highest esteem for creating the wonderful awards you have seen being presented tonight. Let's hear it for the lovely Flick.
And I would also like to thank the various members of the BSFA committee who've done so much work behind the scenes. So committee members, please take a bow. Not bowing.
We're hiding.
And it would be remiss of us not to say thank you to the creative wonder Paul Cornell, who contributed merrily to the script. This is called spreading the blame.
Do you think we should thank the Odyssey committee for letting us use this room?
Undoubtedly, and the hotel too for having this room. We might have a few hundred more people to thank, Donna. This could take some time.
It's okay, Ian. I'm sure they won't mind if we should say thanks to everyone all together. So thanks to you, to the people who nominated, the people who voted, and the people who came here tonight. Please give yourselves the biggest round of applause. No, the biggest one. Come on.
Yes, thank you very much for your attendance this evening. We sincerely hope that you have enjoyed this event and hope you have not found it too much of a drain, as we appreciate that just sitting there watching us do all this can be mentally exhausting. In order to prevent cerebral overload, our only recommendation is that you leave immediately and drink a large quantity of beer.
Right, so good night and to the bar.
To the bar and good night.
Thank you. Good. I in Italy we kiss always right. And also men.
And anyone around.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
You like it?
I
Huh?
like it.
Salome in Paris.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because he originally read it in French, you know.
Right,
Yeah. Yes. I have not read it in French nor in English. I have seen it. I've turned over the pages with art. I think everybody who wants Aubrey Beardsley, bearing in mind the close connection with Oscar.
Yeah.
You can somehow.
Yeah, because I think when we do the sort of second thing, when you go through and make it a bit richer, that's the kind of thing.
Yeah.
But maybe not draw attention to the fact that it's just a while.
Oh, no.
Like a sort of hologram that no one recognises.
Yeah. Who is that portly but sad fellow?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it was Isadora Duncan that actually performed in it, or for whom it was written. I don't remember all the details because the details escape from my brain very easily. But there's something there. That, especially if you're going to invoke Beardsley.
Yeah, that's what it's just in my mind.
Yeah,
Thinking,
actually,
if it was illustrated, it ought to look like it was done by Beardsley.
I agree. Actually, I have a fantasy which I have been working on, that if you are able to rescue somebody from the past without disrupting history too much, I would like to turn up in a sort of, the Doctor Who contraption, disguised as a carriage, when Oscar is discharged from Reading Jail. He left the country the same day by packet to Calais and whatnot. But I just sort of say, excuse me, Mr. Wilde, could you come with me for a moment? And then you sort of open the barn or whatever, which you have rented close by, and say, you have a choice of a different life. It will not be that you go to Stalieno Cemetery where your wife is. No, it is not. It's one of the others. And that you are not mentioned upon the gravestone, and that you will say it as if I have never existed. No. Also, the laws against gay behaviour will be rescinded in our future, and there will be positive discrimination in favour of you, and you will not be allowed to actually declare yourself as Oscar Wilde because we already have Stephen Fry simulating you. However, we will promise you a lot of satisfaction, and to begin with, a flat in Summertown in Oxford. And this would have minimal disruption because he's already. Now, I can't remember if he'd written the Ballad of Reading Jail when he was inside. Or I think he did write it when he was inside, and there's only De Profundis, which he might have written when he was inside, but I have to check that out. And I think this would be.
It doesn't muck about with the technology too much.
No, it just means that the biographies would sort of just shift to the mystery of his disappearance, which would seem easily explicable. I mean, he might have drowned himself or something. I'm sort of thinking about that. Sorry, but that's an idea.
I read the Oracle last year.
Oh, did you?
It's not like a recent book.
Oh.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, did you? Were you annoyed that I didn't provide an ending?
Well, I was interested in that.
It was up to the reader because
to me, I don't really give a shit about endings. To me, it's the journey, not the destination.
It was up to the reader to fantasize which preferred outcome they would like.
And I did generally enjoy it.
Oh, I'm glad.
Recommended it to a few people afterwards. But for me, the sort of crux of it, the interesting stuff is his reactions to being transported to the present. The fact I like the fact that he was sort of underwhelmed by a lot of it. The sort of selection of foods in the supermarket wasn't really to his liking. There was no quail's eggs or something like that.
No garum sauce, probably. Stinking fish sauce. Oh, well, that was based upon another sort of hallucination that I had while driving around the Northamptonshire countryside, that I might actually turn the corner and see a Roman centurion standing by the roadside looking confused. This would be a big challenge because my Latin is very, very rusty. And said, "There's filking in the fan room." And Langford responded, "Thanks for the warning." Oh no, it was Chris Morgan who said that. Yeah, thanks for the warning.
Go away, I haven't got your makeup on.
You look perfectly all right. You still have the face.
Yeah, you're right. There's something to be seen for there.
I mean, all the good in the right place. Correctly coloured.
No, the colours are all wrong. So, go away.
Smoke in cars.
There's not enough other precautions.
Even if the child never goes in your car, and they should look for the video business.
Very not some ability.
Which is worse, paedophilia or nicotine. Well, I do have a flying car. I don't like to reveal this, but the week was only light bulb of that. Hello, you're still here. I saw you setting up for Scotland.
I'm going to stand out of the way now.
I don't blame you.
Two ringlets in one shot, it's just too much. The universe making us.
I have noticed there is an abundance of leather. There is also an overabundance of renders.
And mostly in the same combination. Bizarre, isn't it?
It is. Maybe there's some strange demographic.
Probably the Celtic urge to be a little destructive.
The bucket system.
Yeah. Those on the fringes must do something.
Otherwise, we lose out. Which I absolutely adore. Well, only you choose. It's the shorter Oxford English Dictionary definition. The definition is significant aberration from the recognition.
Yes. They will be made by.
Well, it is divergent from the norm. That is basically it. Who wants to be normal?
Arthur C. Clarke's notes. There's a wonderful movement. There's an old one in the 60s, I think, where they're on the moon and they discover, it's just in the back, they discover that Earth has canals as well. And when you look at Earth from space, you see the same marks and kind of marks as you do on Mars.
Oh, yeah. Because of course it is far too thin.
Yes.
And nobody thinks about this. Okay, it's 5,000 miles long, but it's very, very thin. Right.
So it's a sort of urban myth that can be seen from space.
It's a complete urban myth. Well, the astronauts have confirmed this anyway, you can't see it. It's just too thin.
It's really a program on smoking and science fiction.
Yes, with strange noises in the background of space aircraft taking off.